What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Flannel Panel. Just a couple guys here for the year-end stream. We won't be seeing you guys or you people for a full year. Do you believe that, guys? I know
Well,
it's the quintessential joke, isn't it? At the end of the
yep.
year,
See you next year.
yeah. Is it like the ultimate or like the first dad joke? Would that be considered a dad
That
joke?
could be
Yeah, I
very
remember
much a dad joke.
Yeah,
My fifth grade teacher pulling that one on me.
yeah. Maybe that was it. Maybe that was the first dad joke. See you next year. Yeah. Well, it is the end of the year. We have Jason, we have Troy, we have Corey that's at a zoo sending us some fancy pictures of lights and animals and whatnot. And Ty is busy doing his thing. So,
Yeah, it's his busy time. So,
yeah, he had a busy go. He had a sold out Christmas and he works on Christmas.
yeah,
Craziness.
Yeah.
So,
happens to the best of us.
yeah, Jason works on Christmas too. But do you perform on Christmas?
I guess.
You
No.
could take that a few ways, I think.
Well,
That's here.
hey, man.
She called us degenerate. We've been watching we binged the Letterkenny.
Like all of them?
Oh,
Mhm.
Oh, you definitely, yeah.
there went my just the tip.
Oh, was it?
You know, which actually, I have a controversial subject on that.
Oh, really?
And the question is, has Letterkenny jumped the shark?
Oh,
And all of us old guys know what that means. So, but I mean, it was funny. It had some moments.
have they peaked and on the way down?
I
right?
think
Is that-
so. Yeah,
is that
Jump
it?
the Shark. Yeah, that's the famous
Famous
Fonzie
saying?
episode, the Happy Days episode where
Yeah.
Fonzie jumped the shark and everything. Hey, James, everything went downhill. And I say that there was a lot of funny parts, but like a lot of the skits, they've gone to the well too many times, so it's like the same Amish family. They do the same.
The dicks.
And the dicks, yeah, the one
Wait.
parts that they got new. Oh, what do we
Troy,
got?
do you chuckle still when they say the dicks?
Oh yeah, it's funny every time. Yeah,
See, maybe that's why they do it.
that's why I
Oh,
tuned in to
oh,
Letterkenny. Yeah,
It's funny. Like I said, I'm not. I shouldn't crap on it, but it just feels like a lot of it is.
Well, they've also added Shoresy to the mix too, right?
There wasn't a lot. There was one episode.
Well, isn't that a whole other show?
Oh, sure. Oh,
There's a
yeah, the
spinoff,
Shorzy
yeah.
show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that,
Yeah.
like they're pushing their brand. I get it. They gotta
And
they gotta
I don't
push
know.
it.
It's a lot of it felt very similar to the last season. And there are a couple. Well, the one they really expanded, and I don't know. This is where people are going to be up and down. Is they expanded the gym scene with the,
Oh yeah.
and they get very graphic. I mean, extremely graphic, and you'll know exactly what I mean. It's in episode 1.
Hmm.
So
there's always been a couple segments of that show that's not been my favorite, but I just assume it's because I'm 52 years old and
Not
I'm
Canadian.
not their target audience.
Yeah.
yeah, that's true. We're definitely. But anyway, it was very fun to watch. Very draw your
Yeah.
own conclusion.
I haven't seen it for the last 2 seasons, so I have to get caught up. But
They did have one episode where they went to this restaurant that was hockey themed,
okay.
or they made their hockey menu, and all of them they were all famous players. You know how they rattle things off so quickly.
Yeah.
I only caught a handful, but of course my favorite was they did a drink called the Scotch Stevens, which of course
Yeah,
being
okay.
a Devils fan.
And a
So I'm-
Scotch fan.
I think I'm going to invent the cocktail called the Scotch Stevens.
There you go.
So anyway.
Oh, Nat. Did Jason just say
Extremely?
extremely
Could be.
I'm
I'm not wrong.
Was it in the gym scene? I don't. Anyways, not sure where you're headed with that.
It's a moisturizer.
Oh, she's on a roll. Why isn't she on tonight? She's on a roll.
That's probably why she probably can't find her way down to the basement to jump on and say hi.
Oh, careful, man. Yeah. So Letterkenny, you guys went on a full binge,
Yeah.
season 1 to whatever they're at now? Is that
Oh no, I just did the recent season. I was
Gotcha.
I think the new
Okay.
season 11.
yeah,
Oh,
and there's
really?
they're like 25 minutes, and I
Yeah,
think there's 9 episodes.
yeah, 8 or 9.
Did you watch them all?
Yeah,
Nice.
of course. I have days off.
So speaking of TV shows, Troy, you're just the tip a couple weeks ago was Jack Ryan, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Have you
Oh.
watched it? I haven't watched it, so don't spoil it, but have you
Okay.
watched it?
Yeah, I just finished it last night. And if you don't like Jack Ryan, take your flannel off right now. You know what I mean?
It's
Yeah, I'm excited to watch that one. I'm just waiting for the right time to get into it.
Truth be told, last Wednesday I gave it as my tip, but I hadn't watched it yet. So after we got off of here, I tried to watch the first episode and fell asleep. So I had to come back to it a couple days later and start it over again. So,
thanks to your recommendation, I actually started it.
Oh yeah.
So I started binging
season 1 or just
the beginning. So I'm actually
Okay.
only on season 2, episode like 3 or 4. So midway.
I think I'm gonna watch them all over again. So start from 1 and rewatch it all because I really like that series.
Yeah, and I don't know the books as well. I've never
read the books, but
never really read the books. And the one thing about John that took me a minute to like submerge myself into the plot is
Dwight wasn't there.
He just he does play he plays a pretty good hard ass. But it's hard to get past thinking he's so nice. Even his jawline and his big doe eyes are just so cute that you don't.
It's man crush on him.
Well, I'm just saying, but
I do for sure. Yeah,
but I mean, it took me a minute, but he actually fits the character that they're trying to play.
I think so. Yeah,
the episodes.
Well, I remember season 1 where he was in the office. He's more an office guy, then gets more into the field work and stuff. And it's good. Did you guys watch the old Jack Ryan? Not the old Jack Ryan, but what Chris Pine played it. I think. It was just a movie, like a
Shadow Recruit or something, or
The Recruit. There was a few of them, and yeah. So there's been different guys, and I like the way they've portrayed this guy. I think it's been really good.
I mean, I watched the old Hunt for Red October and all that crap.
Yeah,
back in the old days.
It's just like the Jack Reacher.
I was just gonna say season 2 is coming out for that too.
He's one of those that I really liked the movies.
Tom Cruise ones.
Tom Cruise is but the more I actually read into the book, this guy is more accurate to the way Reacher really is.
For sure.
And he's a badass. I mean, that's season 1. The prison scenes are, give it to him.
Yeah, I like Tom Cruise for entertainment value, but I think that the Alan Richardson or whatever, the big dude, nails it a lot better, in my opinion. So.
Yeah, I didn't know from watching the movies that he's supposed to be so tall, but they made a big deal about that in the TV show.
Our buddy Casey called. I remember talking to him one time, and he called that it. He's like, it's the Reacher. He loves the Lee Child books and whatnot, and he was like, yeah, but he's got to be big. In the book, they reference him as this big, huge dude. So this new guy nails it. That's being shot up here, I think, local to me ish. But
seems like Canada and Utah are like the epicenter of all movies and TV shows we watch.
Canada's cheap. That's what it is.
Yeah.
That dollar. Yeah. Anything else TV wise you guys been watching?
Well, I don't know, you don't want to hear about it, but I did just finish up the Wednesday series too. So it was good.
Hey, no shade on that, man. That was a fun show to watch.
Well, I actually watched that one with Patty and Allie, so it was a family affair. Allie's home for Christmas break, so
I've been trying to think about my Just the Tip for about an hour, and I remembered what it was, and I'll share with that later. But it has something to do with Top Gun.
Oh,
because I rewatched Top Gun Maverick the other day, and that's a fantastic movie. Actually, you know what? I'll throw it in right now and I'll figure out another just a tip. But if you skip or watch until that first flight scene where they're in the training thing and he flies through the planes and whatnot, and like the very first flight scene, basically, not in the SR-71 or whatnot, but just the like when they're dogfighting or simulating that, and you have really good headphones on, really loud. It's awesome. Just the music they have going on and the plane sounds and everything. It's fantastic. So throw a good set of headphones on and listen to that fairly loud. Brings a smile to your face.
So today's episode or segment of just the tips are going to be really wild because we've given everything.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to go off the cuff and do a few new ones.
Yeah.
Well,
we'll have to go in a little bit deeper than just the tip.
Oh boy,
I have to do some research.
Oh boy. Jason's not drinking out of the horn yet, but we'll see.
Not yet.
Speaking of drinking, what do you guys got going on?
Well, let me tell you, I started out with this bottle of antique over here. This is my very first store pick I ever got. Chris Thomas sold this to me.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm very excited about it.
Aged
but it is the hardest drinking Weller I've ever had in my life. It is harsh. It's astringent and it grabs you right by the throat and does not want to go down. So, but we're almost to the end.
All right. Very nice.
That's
Jason didn't jump up already, but I switched that and I opened up a new bottle because Bar Night at Home, we're getting ready for another season, and I need to come up with some categories and some bottles. So I've had this bottle, and I wanted to try it. So I just opened this. This is a store.
Cool. Yeah.
And when we bought this is from a Cork and Bottle down in Kentucky, right there. I don't know, whatever little town New Riff is in. But anyway, he said it was funky, and it is funky. First, I checked the label, wanted to see if it was from Tennessee because it's got a little bit of that. It reminded me of Dickel, but it's not. It says it's Kentucky, but it is definitely different. So I don't know.
I saw your face when you took a sip of that, and I was like, we need to find out what you're drinking.
I don't know if that's going to be in one of my sample glasses because I don't think even Clint would vote me in first place with that one.
That's funny. Tommy D's in the house.
Hey,
Merry Christmas and welcome. And he's saying he's drinking some 7-Up Zero and eating the end of Christmas dinner leftovers. Sounds like a good time.
So what are you guys drinking?
Go ahead, Ian.
I am drinking a special my Christmas pour, as I mentioned earlier, the New Riff Mavriff. That is Troy's pick.
Absolutely. America.
Yeah, I poured some more on Christmas and am really enjoying this bottle. So
great. I'm glad.
Fantastic. Yeah, because I got a couple more, but
Well, I am drinking. I have a little story to go with it, as I always do.
Yeah.
We have a Christmas party. We've talked about it where we do a white elephant gift dice game, and that's where I introduced the yodeling pickle and all that fun stuff. Well, during the game, I actually happened to win this bottle.
Is that a game or a prop?
Is it the yodeling pickle or yodel the pickle?
Okay, I thought maybe that was a game, and I'd like to.
No, the game was
See how that's played.
That's a different game for a different time.
That's what she said. Yeah.
But anyway, so I won this bottle, and it was kind of funny because when you have people that aren't necessarily whiskey geeks or snobs or whatever you want to call us, they get intimidated by the collection, and she just kept apologizing like dozen times. Like, oh, I'm real sorry. I just went to the store, totally minimizing the bottle. And first of all, the best whiskey is free whiskey, period. Second, and I have to give props out to her. So it was Jack the good old number 7.
Number 7.
And
there's nothing wrong with Jack Daniel's number 7.
And I had to give shout out to Raj. She is an amazing person. She's a patrol officer for the city, one of the cities up here. and she's just great. And so I wanted to toast her and thank her for her service with this bottle. And so cheers to you, Raj. Thank you. Oh, and it came with some collector glasses that were freaking awesome.
Oh, nice.
And it's even engraved, the old number 7 logo stamped in the bottom.
Tommy's saying there's everything wrong with it, but he's joking.
Well, that's what I said, and that's my point is me personally, this is one of the bottles that got me started, like as a kid when I was young, because my grandpa always had a bottle of this hidden in his shop because grandma wouldn't let it in the house. And I always looked at it and I was fascinated. I mean, everybody in high school was fascinated with the Jack Daniels label. And so when it got me fascinated, it just kind of imprinted in the back of my head. And then as I got collecting and, but my point is what I'm trying to say is if you can't enjoy the simple pours, the good old pours, the ones, if you can't enjoy a bottle like this, I think you're just a collector. If you you don't need to be drinking Stag all the time to prove your mettle as a whiskey guy. If you can't sit down and kill an entire bottle of old number 7 with friends, then I think
or by yourself on a long weekend.
by yourselves, and that goes for all of them. Whatever got you into it.
It was a tough Christmas. It was a tough Christmas. That bottle's gone.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I'm the same boat, Jason. When I first started with the bourbon, I didn't know anything, and I was buying Jack, and then I realized that I like Jim Beam about the same, and it was $10 cheaper or whatever it was, So, but I got some.
Nice
Jack Daniels. I got some nut. I got these nuts for Christmas.
Nice, these nuts for Christmas. So that's a great question. Now, what is that one bottle that you love that people hate?
Oh,
you know what I mean? Do you have something that you love that everybody's like, I don't want to drink that?
I'm all over it.
Okay,
mine's easy.
You're gonna tell me I sell out again.
While you're doing that, I'll just rip mine off. I actually enjoy the minerality of Dickel.
Yeah. You do.
I like.
Nobody enjoys that.
I do. I like the Dickel.
Dave and I got in an argument last week.
Yodeling the Dickel.
Yodeling Dickel. Yeah, there you go.
Ohio had a big bourbon release last week, and we got a bunch of cool bottles. But one of the bottles they offered was like a 16-year-old Dickel, I think. And we were drinking. I think JJ bought one, and we were drinking some of that. And I just don't like it. I was throwing, making a face and throwing a fit, and Dave says that's just my opinion, that he likes it, and so
I like
it
guess too. I like it too. Conway threw that in last year for the 12 Days of Christmas.
I love that bottle.
That it had that funk to it, but I really enjoyed that one. So, and Conway's story again, that kind of leads back to Jason's, if it's Jack Daniels number 7 poured with a friend, it's going to be good, So Troy, what do you got?
Okay, well, this isn't gonna. Anyway, I don't know if people hate these, but they take a lot of shame anymore. But it's one of my favorites, and it's one of the reasons that got me into this bourbon collection. But I just got 2 for Christmas, so I'm a huge Booker's fan.
Oh, yeah.
Who hates Booker's?
I think people cut out all the time. It's too expensive.
No, you're
it's not
right,
as good as
yeah.
it used to be.
They love it. They just think it's too expensive. I think that's what it
Maybe
is,
so.
because it's 6 years old and it should be cheaper. And I disagree. It comes in the best packaging in the game.
Yeah.
I really like Booker's as well. So
that was pretty much my Christmas from the kids this year. Is they actually bought these? I don't know if you want to call it secondary, but I'm old enough now that my son's friends had bought these and had extra. So because I can't find them anymore. So
wow, that's cool.
Able to buy them from a friend. So
that's
cool.
I think Booker's is an awesome buy. It's my recommendation for people that aren't into bourbon to give to clients or whatnot. Because
nice.
My buddy Dave is a contractor, does a lot of construction stuff here, and he'll build bars and he wants to leave a whiskey there. I'm like, source Booker's, put it on the bar after. It's in a wooden box. It looks cool. Throw that out there. It's a good one. And
that's
that's
my
in Little Book too. I like Little Book. It's pricey, but
I
For the large
I
batch.
and that's kind of honestly my wheelhouse. When somebody says what kind of whiskey, I like high proof 6-7 year bourbon. I just the richness, it doesn't have a lot of oak influences, like that's honestly my wheelhouse. I mean, if you
Mhm.
look at it, like Stag's in the same boat. Stag's right there with that.
Stag Junior.
Stag Junior.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, not
I can't
GTS.
I was
Or
like,
It's
either.
now changed to just Stag. So
yeah, fair enough. Oh,
Mhm.
that's true. Yeah. Tommy D says I've never been
Yeah.
a JD fan. Always loved Jim. Always Jim, which I agree with. Love the JD single barrel, but the 10-year was a disappointment, and that's interesting because Will was a big fan of that 10-year, and Clint were both big
Clint
fans
loved
of
him.
that.
Mhm. And I think Dustin's a big Jack Daniels fan in general.
Justin's a huge Jack Daniels fan. Yeah. He said never had the Little Book. Had a couple bottles of the Country Ham and Granny's Batch or something like that. So yeah, I like Booker's. I don't have Little Book Chapter 1, but I have had 2 till 5, I
Wow.
guess. So I've been trying to get them all, and my 2 is cached. I was able to do that with a few guys. That was nice. 3 and 4 I haven't opened, but yeah, we'll see.
I think
Well, 6 is I saw a review the other day. I think it's a lot of single malts or something.
Oh, yeah, Jason would
Yeah.
like it, but
ADHD completely trashed it.
Mm-hmm. That's what I saw.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He says it's just, but I loved was it 2? The Road Home that had the
No,
30-year
that was No
Canadian?
Simple Task. Yeah, that
That's
was
the one.
2, batch 2. Yeah. That was a cool one.
I really liked
really
that one.
unique. Yeah. And then the batch 4, I think, was the brown rice, whatever, the younger brown rice whiskey, and I was a big fan of that too. So James is drinking 4 Roses tonight. Nice.
Oh,
Nice. Can't go
which
wrong with that.
one? Which one, my boy? So I was so excited. I didn't get a chance to talk to him that much. So for Christmas, I thought, he's graduated. He's drinking, small batch, and he's drinking. I think he just bought. As a matter of fact, he sent me a message with tasting notes on what did he buy? He just bought something. Oh, Wild Turkey Rare Breed. He bought a bottle of Rare Breed, and he sent me some text with a little mini video with his tasting notes, and it was awesome.
Nice.
So for Christmas, I decided to get him a big boy bottle, and I sent him a single barrel, 4 Roses single barrel that we got from the distillery that was picked by Brett Elliott and signed by, so
Cool.
I haven't had a chance to see if that's the one he broke into, but I thought, he deserves it.
That's great.
He's the only one of my 3 kids that really got into the other 2 humor me quite well. Jared will even drink one once in a while, but James is the only one that's gotten into it. So
Jared will throw on a flannel once in a while. I've seen
he
that.
will flannel, yeah.
He ain't all bad.
So I'd stick on the Jack Daniels thing, and mine's Gentleman Jack. I love Gentleman Jack. It's not old number 7, it's the twice mellowed, but I really like it. Just that was probably one of the first bottles that I really liked. That got me into whiskey, and then I'll grab that pour anytime it's at a bar. It's usually fairly cheap and decent. So
yeah, I remember drinking that before I knew I wasn't supposed to, but yeah, I did like it.
Do you remember, kind of playing off of this, do you remember the first, we'll just say, premium bottle that you bought and your thoughts behind it?
Premium bottle.
Yeah, from when you went from this, because then you obviously, because I went from these and then I started. I had a weird intro to whiskey because I honestly collected it. I didn't drink. I was raised Mormon, and so we didn't even touch the stuff until I was probably 28. Then I moved to Utah and became a rebel, and I actually was, for the same reason for this bottle, I started collecting when we would go to travels. We would travel. That would be my souvenir. I would go to a small distillery or someplace local, go tour the place. And bring a bottle home. So I had several bottles of, like, I had a Westland from Seattle. I had a Peach Street Distilling when we went to Grand Junction. Had all
Cool.
these cool bottles that weren't even open. And then just somebody, I don't even remember who asked me. Somebody online out of the blue was talking about my collection. He's like, "Well, have you tried any of them?" I'm like, "They're just decorations." I honestly thought it was brown water. I had no idea. It was just brown water is brown water. But then I opened up a couple and I tasted and I realized how different it was. And then I released the bourbon geek and or the whiskey geek and just started grabbing everything I possibly could.
Yeah. What about you, Troy? What was the first bottle that you spent money on, or
Well, yeah, I don't have any or a lot of very expensive bottles, but the first one I really like spent what I thought was a lot of money on was my first Kentucky Owl Rye.
oh yeah, fair.
You know, I think I've bought 2 or 3 of those now, but in one of those, well, I mean, the first one I drank, and the second one I had Dixon signed, so I'll probably never open that one. But since then $200 doesn't seem like so much. But the first time it was like,
isn't it funny how that happens?
If Patty ever finds out I spent
Yeah.
$200 on a bottle of bourbon, it's over. You know,
Yeah, no kidding.
so
I spent, I'm not exaggerating when I said I spent 30 minutes in the liquor store staring at the bottle of Blood Oath Pact 3, I think it was. This was back in 2018, 19, something like that. And I could not put, it was $103. I'm like, how in the hell am I going to spend $103 on a bottle? And I like, how am I going to justify it to that? But I've looked at this bottle once again, back to the labeling. Blood Oaths with some of the coolest bottles you've ever seen. And I did. I even, like, halfway through, I had him get it out of the case, and then I just paced back and forth. And then finally I closed my eyes and put it on the counter and rung it up and snuck home. And of course, Nat is a lot more expensive taste than I am as far as whiskey. She's my enabler.
But I don't know why I was so worried about Patty getting mad at me, because like the first bottle I ever really bought, she took me to, we were on a trip and we stopped at Jim Beam, and that was the first time I ever tasted Booker's. So I bought a bottle of Booker's at the distillery, and it was like $80 or $75, which seemed like a lot then. And she didn't seem to have but I think it's when you're used to buying $25 bottles or your upper end, and you make that jump to $100 or $200.
It's the tiers now. It starts at $150. I feel like it's crazy for anything somewhat like prestigious. I don't know what the word is, but Tommy D
had a
Tommy D.
like that.
Oh, nice.
Had a Johnny Walker Blue when he retired, and that is a very cool bottle. Very cool bottle. Andrew West says Old Forester birthday bourbon back in 2010, and it was a cheap one. Look at that.
80 Canadian.
That's
like $75 or like 75 cents.
Yeah. You guys love that. My first bottle that I was excited to get, so I bought a bottle of scotch that was around the same price, hated it, thought it was corked, researched corked bottles, realized I just don't like Highland scotch, like the scotchy scotch. Then I bought some bourbon. I was like, oh, I really like bourbon. Bought a random rye, liked rye. And then Lot 40 Cask Strength came out. So I bought 5 of them. I just went to every store in my area and bought 2. It was limited 2 each. So I bought 2 from everyone and bought a whole bunch. And I was like, screw it, I'm going to send one of these to Will and Grease. So I mailed it to them. And then that was the start of, the friendship with those boys. Yeah. So they got one of those, and it was a fun thing. And that kind of hooked me for, getting fun releases. But I also don't spend too much money on them. I don't buy the high end ones. And if I do, it's, it is what it is. So
what do you consider high end?
So I struggle at that $150 to $200 Canadian, which is, so that would be like 120 US maybe.
Agreed,
would be that I feel like that's a price point where I'm like, man, do I really want this, or do I want to buy a rare breed? Like that's, I could buy 2 rare breeds for this, and I'll drink the rare breeds way more than I'll drink this, so
That's
I'm at
another
that,
thing. If I
like,
get a bottle
yeah.
like that, I don't know that I necessarily want to open it right away.
Mhm.
Wait for
Yeah.
somebody to come over.
I've gotten that way too, to where I've kind of peaked and dropped in the collection category. Where there was a time where we're all at, where there's that frenzy of shopping and the FOMO. And
Yeah, for sure.
actually, earlier this year, I did it because of FOMO. Well, I was in Evanston, and they had the Wyoming whiskey, the anniversary 10-year. Badass bottle. I've heard a lot of good things about it. I wanted to try it. I just grabbed it on impulse. There was one left. I grabbed it, put it in the container, or put it in the cart. Nat had we had some wine and stuff. And when we left, I was looking at the receipt. I'm going, how in the hell did we spend that much? And I looked down, and that bottle was like $180.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't regret buying it, but I honestly think if there was a price tag in front of it, I wouldn't have bought it. Just because I haven't really. I mean, I don't know. It's like there's so much great whiskey with the clubs that we're in, with Oak and Thieves, and with Chad and Sarah, and with ADHD. I mean, you're inundated. Like, I've never thought I'd say this, but there are so many single barrels that are getting thrown at us that I can't keep up with them.
That's where I was gonna go. I want my buddy's picks.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
That's what I prize right now. It's not. I'd love a George C. Stagg. I'd love a Thomas Handy or some BTAC or whatever. But what I really am excited for is this. I got sent this in the mail. I freaked out. Like, that's what I'm stoked for. Like, Troy and Eric and Laura and Dave got to go pick this bottle, and I get to have one and enjoy it. And that's what makes me excited for whiskey.
Yeah, they are fun.
Yeah.
Tommy D says that Johnny Walker Blue was terrible too. Woody got drunk on something else and sent a mad email to Johnny Walker. They responded by sending me a check for another one. Well done,
nice.
sir. Well done. Yes.
Did you buy another one?
We bought for someone else.
I've had a little Johnny Walker Blue in my day. A friend of mine had bought a bottle, and I don't remember it. I'm sure I didn't. Wasn't my favorite, but we drank it.
I like it for what
super
it
easy
is.
pour. I find. Yeah.
We had a bottle. We tried it at a steakhouse here in Salt Lake.
Mm-hmm.
Very mellow. I mean, it was a nice pour. It actually paired really well with the steak dinner I was having. But you're right. There's not
it's complex. It's just soft.
It's refined. Yeah, you're paying more for the refinement, but yeah. Honestly, yeah.
All right, and Nat's sent a couple comments about Christmas, so I think we should get into Christmas comments.
Back to the Christmas.
Yeah. So Troy, what did you get for Christmas?
Well,
besides the bottles.
Yep. So yeah, my Christmas was limited, but so actually, my last day of work last week was, I can't remember, say Thursday. So I came home Thursday after work, and I pretty much live in the basement. Like, we have a big house, but if I'm home, I'm usually in the basement. So I come downstairs after work, and Patty's down here, and actually my whole family, my mom and dad and sister and brother-in-law and their kids, and they had surprised me with. That's why I'm sitting where I'm sitting, but I don't know why, because you can't see it. But Patty bought me had built a bourbon barrel table, so it's the actual barrel from the Maverick. That's our new riff barrel, which I didn't realize at first. I'm looking at it, and it was 10 minutes in. Patty said, that's the barrel. I'm like, oh, so yeah, so
that's this barrel.
Yep,
that's that barrel. That's awesome.
There were 231 of these in that barrel. So and yeah, it's like a nice it's like a 5-foot wooden table, and yeah, I've sent some pictures to the group and stuff, but it's awesome.
Yeah, you should definitely throw it on the Instagram along with the other picture.
Oh, I don't know if
you got to do that. You look good. You do. So Troy's got this picture and he won't show it, but we'll talk about it. He may post it, but his your wife loves buffalo check plaid.
Oh, like she
Is
has decorated the whole house in black
Yes.
and white buffalo check.
And there's a chair with black and white buffalo check, right?
Yes, and then for Christmas, she bought the kids and I and her. We all got matching pajamas.
Everybody
same-
got buffalo check plaid, white and
Everybody
black.
got buffalo checked.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for Christmas morning, I get up and I've got this. They're still in the plastic wrapper. I haven't opened them. Got these pajamas I got to put on. So I put them on and I stumble my hungover butt down the steps for Christmas morning. And I sit in a chair and the kids are opening presents and Patty takes a picture. I don't.
Yes,
Yeah, I'll,
needs to be posted.
It's not going to show up.
You're camouflaged into the chair.
oh yeah, it's not gonna show
Dang
up,
it!
dude.
You can see.
I guess you're just gonna have to post it.
Yeah, you got to post
Yeah,
it.
I'll send it. But
It's awesome.
it's a big fat guy camouflaged in a chair.
It's so great.
Buffalo check on buffalo check, and it just kind of sinks in, so you just see Troy's face.
What
Yeah.
it was is I was on recon to find out if Santa Claus was real, and I had been staked out there all night.
Yeah, you pulled your hood off. And
But
Is Santa
I
Claus
never
real?
thought about that until I saw the picture back later. I'm like, oh, that's the worst thing I've ever seen.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it was great.
Oh,
But yeah,
it's
but
an
anyway,
awesome
back to
picture.
my table. I love this
Hey.
freaking table, and I actually moved my camera here so I could sit at it tonight. But I don't know why, because you can't see it because
It is a
But it's
beautiful
special.
table.
Yeah.
I can maybe I'll stick some pictures of it on.
yeah,
Didn't
throw it up
somebody
on Flannel Panel.
Did somebody special make it for you?
My brother-in-law made it. Yep, and
It's gorgeous.
snuck it down here, and we actually put the foot rail on it and screwed the top, attached the top while we're here, and it's all ready to go. Now I just I'm in the market for some real cool bar stools to sit around this thing now.
Mhm.
So. That and 2
Awesome.
bottles of Booker's and Merry Christmas.
That's amazing Christmas.
One second. Nat sent
Oh.
me stuff, and I have to try and
Oh, I
no.
wonder what was happening.
make it
I got
work.
I had a hipster Christmas thanks to Nat.
Would
A
you get?
hipster Christmas.
Did you get like a ponytail or?
Close. Almost as bad, but I got a sous vide machine, which is really cool. I've always wanted one. I want a
Sous
sous
vide
vide
machine.
Yeah, that's the
Will's big on the sous vide.
yeah, where you cooking meat and whatnot, the slow and the circulating water. Anyway,
That, that's awesome. What'd your wife get?
She didn't get much. That told me to go to the jewelry store, and that hasn't happened yet.
Oh,
so,
Troy.
yeah.
Troy.
Yeah.
Troy, what did your wife get, Troy? I thought that was to Jason because she's been waiting
Oh.
for this.
Oh, yeah, no, because I told Natalie that I was in trouble because I got this table. It was like the day before Christmas, and we made the agreement not to buy anything. Well, I didn't buy anything, and so yeah, so I am in her debt. So I might have to go get her something. I thought maybe I'd let her pick it out.
Yeah.
that's wise, very wise. Because I know Nat was the first one to chime up. So I know what to get her. Jewelry. Lots of jewelry.
She says jewelry from a jewelry store.
From a real from a real jewelry store.
You can't go to Kmart and get your jewelry.
Yeah, but then she got me a kombucha setup for
Oh,
making
full
kombucha.
hipster. Full
Full
hipster.
Tell me what kombucha is.
I don't know yet. I
It's
still don't know.
wannabe alcohol. Wannabe alcohol.
It's a slightly fermented. So that story behind that, like maybe 3 weeks ago, I'd never thought about trying this stuff. Nat literally forced the bottle down my face. She got one from the store and she was drinking it. She says, "Try this." I'm like, "I don't want it. Don't know what it is."
It is
I
disgusting.
beg to differ.
Oh, is that like the cultured stuff?
the
Yeah.
ferment? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
probiotics.
She made me
stuff
drink
and-
it.
Yeah, you beat Nick.
I know. She made me drink it, and I hated it out of spite because she made me drink it. But through the end of the night, I drank that whole bottle, and I've completely replaced my energy drinks with that. So
That's probably worse things.
it's
Isn't that like them?
this is the jerk that likes sour beers too. So I mean, it's kind of in the same boat. It's sour. It's very fizzy, and that's the whole reason I drink. It's the whole reason I drink energy drinks. It's not even for the caffeine. It's like I like the carbonation and I like the tartness, and sodas are kind of too syrupy.
Gotcha. Ty, we're gonna have to make this a topic for one of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if I will try to make some just to be funny, but
yeah, you got a machine. You have to make some.
gotta screw it up.
All right, Jason, what did you get your wife?
Oh, should I tell you? Should I tell him that? I was so happy. I was proud of myself. I should be bragging because I told these guys I ordered it and I was so nervous. There you go. Thank you, Team Canada. Team half of Canada. So Nat, growing up, she was into horses. Horse shows. She won several national awards for, I'll screw it up, with dressage and all that horse stuff. Her family had a horse ranch and she spent all of her weekends winning. And I know she was nationally ranked in several. She'll be more than happy to brag about it for you if you want to ask her. And deservedly so. I mean, being ranked third in the country. I screwed it up already. Anyway,
she's
back
up there.
to that.
Yeah.
She's up there. Come down and defend yourself. Anyway, I had bought a trophy. Well, that wasn't a trophy. It's a bronze sculpture of a horse. It's a beautiful. I'll post that as well. I fell in love with it. I love art, and it was a beautiful sculpture. And when I found out that the artist that made the bronze was the same artist that made the quarter horse trophies, the national trophies, I thought that was just a bonus. But still, it's a trophy. I mean, it's not really elegant and beautiful and it's not from Tiffany's. So I didn't know if she was going to like it. I was very nervous. Come Christmas evening, I had to work all day Christmas. So when I got home that evening, we actually had an amazing dinner of Nat's always wanted a holiday meal with all sides and no main course. So we had a sides miss where we had stuffing and bean casserole and carrot salad and
any sort of noodles.
Yeah, were there noodles?
There was supposed to be.
It's supposed to be.
But no. But yeah, so anyway, so we had this amazing, had some wine, and we had some old wine and some Christmas side dishes for dinner. And then we opened our presents, and I saved that for last. It's big and heavy, and I was nervous. Well, when she opened it, yes. When she opened the package, the Christmas gift, she lifted the box open and she started crying with joy. I hope. I took it as that. So then she just looked at me and I made her cry tears of joy. And she said that she was actually dreaming about this, wanting to buy one and couldn't find one. And she had one almost like it. It was her trophy for being first in the United States. And it didn't make it through the trip. Either her brother stole it for whatever reason or just didn't make it. So she was able to get her trophy back. So I am now the greatest husband in the world for 3 days.
Look
you are
at
one
you.
smooth son of a gun.
Yeah. A hipster smooth son.
I am. I've decided that I'm going with it, but technically I'm not a hipster. I've just been this way for the fashion to go full circle and come back.
Oh, yeah. It come around.
So
come back
I'm
around.
not ironic. I was thinking I've always worn like this except for the old man hat, but everything else is all me. It's always been me. And I just say hipsters want to be like me. I'm just not ironic about it.
That works. Well, good job. Good job with nailing Christmas. Well, is that time for just the tips?
Well,
we've all been dreading this.
Yeah.
We gave our tips already. We already
Yeah, times 2, right? Just tips time 2.
Mine was to enjoy the simple whiskey, enjoy the simple things.
Well,
I do.
yeah, the only thing I can say is something along the same note as that. We had some friends over and we're exchanging gifts, and somebody came up with a good idea. Instead of like trying to find like the perfect gift, like there's 3 of us, there are 3 sets of couples, 6 of us, and so instead of trying to find gifts for each other, from now on we're just going to plan like little weekend trips. So like like we're rather like last year we went to the Beaumont Inn, something like that, or we go up to Chautauqua, New York, things like that. So from now on, we're just going to do little weekend getaways and just relax and have a drink or two and spend time together. So I'd say just it's more about hanging out with your friends than trying to find the perfect gift.
I like that. That's a good idea. Yeah. Nat saying, what about me? What did I do for Christmas? Well, our washer broke about 3 weeks ago, so we bought a new washing machine, and we just kept gifts to a minimum this year. So just the small things, stockings and whatnot. And I have a sister-in-law who knows what my wife likes for like makeup and stuff, because I'd be shot. So she hooked me up with buying a whole bunch of that stuff, so I gave it to my wife. And the kids, my wife is a champ, and she looks after all that stuff and buys all the kids stuff. And they got magic mixies, which is going to be the death of us, but it's very fun for them because they're this little animal that runs around on its own and beeps and boops and makes a lot of noise. So yeah, it was a
Sweet.
busy, loud Christmas. But yes, that was me. Jason, do you have a second just the tip? He's muted.
Thank you.
There
I
we
got
go.
rid of all the hems and haws, and I'm ready to go. It's that time of year where everybody's
Sorry.
where everybody's leading towards resolutions and self improvement and looking on those. So recently, I've been. The tip would be find things that'll help you facilitate that. My example being, I have been browsing the App Store for a few things to help me along the way. And there's a lot of apps out there that you can kind of custom to go in the direction. Like one I downloaded Rocket Money, and Rocket Money, they go through like all your accounts and see all the little things that you're subscribed for and help you delete them all. And Nat and I did that last week. We saved, it's not a commercial, but we did. I mean, it saved us over $200 a month.
Wow.
With just shit that we had either double subscribed for or we don't use anymore, or even like old video game subscriptions that I hadn't played in years that I've been supporting for the last ever. And then like little things like me, Nat and I want to travel, so I've been looking at becoming bilingual. So
look at you.
I've been using.
What's your second language be?
Love.
I'm
love language.
He's fluent in language of love. He's fluent.
I think I'm gonna start. I started with Spanish. I'm actually like very not quite fluent, but I mean I took Spanish all the way through high school as an AP Spanish, and I've worked for the jail, so I know all the bad words. But so I'm starting with that because it's not going to taste mostly mostly a refresher. Try to get back into being conversational in Spanish, but then actually, I'd like to learn like French.
Oh yeah.
Or I want to learn German just because it's a badass sounding language.
If you learn French, you can talk to my best friend Ashley.
Exactly, because that's our hope. Is someday we're going to make it out that way. And
this is a tangent, but Mark, Ashley's husband, Mark, we're kind of buddies now, but I don't think he's ever really picked up the French. So he's been working as a lawyer in France for like 4 years without being able to speak the French.
Yeah,
I think he
that's
just
true.
goes in and just fucking pounds a gavel and throws it around.
That's a good question. Maybe I'll text him and see what he thinks, see what he says about learning. And Ashley speaks just beautiful French. Her
Jason, we don't know. She could be faking.
she could
who are
be,
we
but
to
I mean,
judge?
I mean,
We don't
her
judge.
accent is dead on. I mean, it's at least what I think. I mean, she lulled us into believing.
Sounds like
it
the
worked.
movies to me. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
But so we have dreams of someday going out there to see her operation and hanging out in France and
Looks very
doing,
pretty.
you know.
Yes.
So no, yeah, so that things like that look kind of get an idea. I mean, there's ones for activities. I mean, there's lots of, fitness counters and all that stuff. If I should be doing, but
that's
I'm
what I'll
not.
be doing in January. Fit like my Fitness Pal calorie counter. Got to get after that.
If I gain any more weight, I could pop.
Yeah, I'm feeling that too.
So anyway,
These
All right.
funnels only go so big.
Jay, Troy's not gonna like this last one.
Uh-oh.
It gets the feels a little bit.
Oh.
So, yeah. But do you know who Twitch is or was?
No.
If you ever watched Ellen, he was the DJ. He was a dancer, and he recently just passed away because of life got difficult for him. And I don't know how to say that well, but my just a tip is it's one of the toughest times of the season of the year. People have a lot of emotions going on, and check on your friends. I've had a couple texts recently with a few guys, and I'm just thankful for them just checking in on everything and whatnot and whatnot. But that guy looked like he was the most happiest guy in the world, and he wasn't. So check on your friends. I'd also like throw Nat some credit and be like, hey, get somebody to talk to that knows what they're doing, like a pro. Go talk to a pro and like be real, because life is worth living for. So, sorry to bring, like, it's been a tough go. So, check on people, love on people, and be there for everyone. So, Troy, how do you feel about that?
I think you're speaking true words. I just don't know. I don't have the vocabulary to express myself.
Yeah. So that's a goal for me in the new year, and we'll talk about goals next week on the Flannel panel and what we look forward to do in 2023. But that's a goal for me, is to be intentional weekly. I'm gonna write a list of weekly people to check in on or something like that, and just be a bit more intentional with friends and people that I think could use a little bit. So with the just the tips done, we're 5 minutes early, but that's all we got tonight.
We're spent.
You know what? These kids kicked the crap out of me this week. So with that said, until next week, until next year.
Next year.
See you next year, suckers.
Stay buttoned up.
Stay buttoned up. Cheers, everybody.